Lifan Myway. Lifan Myway, previously wearing the X70 Index, first appeared before the general public during an online presentation back in February 2016. The model could be seen after a couple of months, however, exclusively on the home market. The first samples appeared in showrooms of domestic dealerships only in the second half of 2017. The novelty received a fairly simple range of power units, a salon with 3 rows of seats, a relatively high level of equipment and an ambiguous design. If earlier, Chinese manufacturers often borrowed design solutions from leading car manufacturers and adapted them to their needs, the current models have a relatively unique appearance. So, the car got a pretty nice front end with quiet small headlights, a hexagonal radiator grille and special recesses for fog lights. The bumper received a short overhang and a protective strip at the bottom. On the back, practicality ran counter to aesthetics. To increase the capacity, the stern had to be made quite massive. Against its background, 16 or even optional 17-inch wheels look disproportionate. Lifan Myway is positioned as a budget compact crossover with 3 rows of seats. It measures 4,440 mm in length, 1,760 mm in width, 1,730 mm in height and 2,720 mm between axles. The ground clearance is relatively solid. About 192 mm remains between the bottom point of the bottom and the ground. The platform itself has a rather unusual, for our time, and even somewhat archaic structure. The engine and variable gearbox are located longitudinally at the front and transmit torque to the rear axle by means of a cardan. At the rear there is a continuous axle with a set of rods, coil springs and telescopic shock absorbers. In front are the classic McPherson struts. As for the size of the trunk, it very much depends on the layout of the cabin. In the 7-seater version, the car will be able to take only 258 liters. If the owner does not plan to use the gallery, you can get up to 1,038 liters, and in the maximum layout, 2,188 liters. In the domestic market, Lifan Myway received one single power unit. This is a 1.8-liter inline naturally aspirated petrol 4. Featuring dual overhead camshafts and multi-point fuel delivery, it produces 125 horsepower at 6,000 revolutions per minute and 161 Nm of torque in the narrow range from 4,200 to 4,400 revolutions per minute. The default transmission is a classic 5-speed variable manual transmission. The most expensive equipment is offered with a 5-band hydromechanical automatic. Drive exclusively to the rear wheels. The maximum speed of the car will be 160 km per hour, and the fuel consumption is 7.6 liters of gasoline for every 100 km in the combined cycle. As is typical for cars from the Middle Kingdom, even the initial configurations boast a relatively high level of equipment. Already at base, the model boasts front airbags, combined trim, multifunction steering wheel, ABS, ESP and EBD, parking radar, alloy wheels, heated front seats, air conditioning and an advanced 4-speaker infotainment system.